Hey YouTube, this is Mike Shackelford, also known as the Wizard of Odds, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the 3-point dolly, not to be confused with the 3-point molly. The 3-point dolly is a betting system that can only be applied in the game of craps, and it is the flip side, the opposite of the 3-point molly, and I already did a video on the 3-point molly, and I will leave a link to that video in the video description below. So this video presumes that you, the listener, already know the rules to the don't pass, the don't come, and laying the odds in craps. If you don't, then a lot of this material is going to go right over your head. I would recommend to those of you who don't know what those bets are to watch one of my many instructional videos on the rules of craps. So the 3-point dolly is really quite simple. On every roll, you make either a don't pass or a don't come bet, and always back those up with the maximum odds, or at least as much as you're comfortable losing, until you have, I'm not sure exactly what term to use, but until you have don't come or don't pass bets on at least 3 numbers. And once you get to having money on 3 numbers, then you don't make any new bets. And that's it. So next in this video, I will run through a couple of examples of me playing the 3-point dolly, and then I will show you some material that I have on my website about it, and finally I will come back here and give you my concluding thoughts about it. So I'll see you at the end of the video. Bye. Next, let's run through a demonstration of the 3-point dolly. I'm going to be doing it on this craps game that you can find at my website, Wizard of Odds. You can play it totally for free. And please note the $10,000 balance in the lower left. I'm going to establish $100 as my unit size. Now this table allows 3, 4, 5 times odds, meaning that's how much you can bet on the odds after a pass or a don't pass bet. It also refers to how much you can win laying the odds after a don't pass or a don't come bet. And mathematically speaking, it works out that you can always lay 6 times a don't pass or a don't come bet. So let's get started here. Here's 1 unit. Whoops, that's $1. Let's clear that. Let's bet 100 on the don't pass. And there's a 5. So I'm going to lay 6 times odds on against the 5 and make a don't come bet. And there's an 8. So I'm now going to lay 600 against that 8 and make another don't come bet. So there's a 10. I'm going to lay 600 against that 10. And now I have money on 3 numbers on the table, the 5, the 8, and the 10. So when you get to 3, you don't make a new bet. So I'm not going to. And here we go. So of course we're really want a 7 here, which we just got. Yay! So we just won 15 units. And the way the system works is that as soon as you get a 7 out, you walk away. So I'm walking away happy, being up $1,500 or 15 units. But that was quite short, so let's do it again, shall we? So as before, I'm going to start with a 1 unit bet on the don't pass. And there's a 7, so I lost that. Let's make a new don't pass bet. There's an 8, so let's bet 6 units against the 8 and make a don't come bet. There's a 6, so let's bet 6 units against the 6 and make another don't come bet. And there's a 9, so let's back that up with 6x odds. And now I've got money on the 6, the 8, and the 9. So with 3 numbers covered, I am not going to make any new bets. I'm just going to roll the dice and hope for a 7. 5, nothing happens. So there's an 8. So I just lost my don't pass bet and the associated odds. So I've only got money now on two numbers, the 6 and the 9. So because I'm not at 3, I'm going to make a don't pass bet since it's a come out roll. And there's a 4, so I'm going to back up that don't pass bet with 6x odds. And now I've got money on 3 numbers again, the 4, the 6, and the 9. So I do nothing but roll the dice and hope for a 7. All right, there's a 9, so I just lost more money. And I'm going to make a don't come bet because now I've only got money on 2 numbers, the 4 and the 6. So there's a Yo 11 that lost on the don't come. 5. So let's lay 6x odds against the 5. So now I've got money on 3 numbers again, the 4, the 5, and the 6, so I make no new bets. A 10, an 8, a 6, so I just lost more money there. So now I've only got money on 2 numbers, so I'm going to make a don't come bet again. And there is a 7 out. So that won on the 2 numbers that I did cover. It lost on the don't come bet, but all things considered, I lost 15 units or $1,500. So that's an example of the 3-point dolly when things don't go so well. Next, I would like to show you some information I have about the 3-point dolly on my website at Wizard of Odds. So I start out by explaining what I have covered in this video, how to actually play the 3-point dolly. But the heart of this was my computer simulation. I ran over 41 billion sessions of the 3-point dolly to see how it worked out overall. So here are the results. On average, it takes the shooter 8.53 rolls before 7 out. By the time that the shooter does 7 out, the 3-point dolly player will have bet about 30.3 units, and he will have lost 0.083 units. So if you divide the loss, the 0.083 divided by 30.3, you get the overall house advantage, what I sometimes call the element of risk, of 0.27%. So that's extremely low. It does not get any better than that in most casinos. It might in blackjack or video poker, depending upon their particular rules, but it probably won't. This is as good as it gets in casino gambling without employing some kind of advantage play. So let me show you this graph down here. This is really important. Hopefully, let me move this over so you can see it. So this shows how the probability of every net win from -50 up to 24, which covered almost every outcome. And you can see right here where the 0 is, that is exactly breaking even. So you can see that the player does get a win most of the time, as you can see that these highest probabilities are for wins of around 4. And then there's another spike over at, it looks like 9. And here's another spike at 15, it looks like. And the reason for these spikes is each one is winning on a particular number of points. And then you can also see kind of this undulating effect as you go down too, according to losing on different numbers of points. But I also want to emphasize that while the most likely outcome is a win, you don't often see wins of greater than, it looks like 18, but the downside can be a lot worse than the upside. We see on this graph losses of up to 50, and it's possible to lose even more than that. So in other words, this is the type of system if that trades off a high probability of winning for the possibility of a really big loss. And I know that most players don't like to play that way. And if you don't, then you should consider playing the 3-point Molly instead. So here's some particular statistics comparing the 3-point Dolly to the 3-point Molly. So you can see the probability of success of the 3-point Dolly per session is 68%, whereas it's only 30% with the 3-point Molly. However, when you win with the 3-point Dolly, the average win is only 7.4 units, whereas it's 15.9 with the 3-point Molly. On the flip side of that, when you lose with the 3-point Dolly, the average loss is 17.1 units, whereas it's only 7.3 units with the 3-point Molly. So ask yourself, what would I rather have? A high probability of making a little win or a low probability of a big win? That is basically the difference between the 3-point Dolly and the 3-point Molly player, depending upon what their goals are. So that is about it on my analysis, but please go to my website and I'll leave a link to this page in the video description for more information about my analysis of it. Hi there, thanks for making it to the end of the video. So I want to say a couple general things before I get into the 3-point Dolly. Number one is that good gambling in any game is all about good bet selection, and then in games of skill, making the right decisions. Now, in the case of craps, there is no skill element to it, despite what the dice influencers may say. So it's all you have to worry about is bet selection. And number two, I want to say that betting systems in general not only can't overcome the house advantage, but they can't even dent it. So that said, I don't want to give the impression that I'm, shall we say, endorsing the 3-point Molly, but I do definitely want to say that I endorse making don't pass and don't come bets as long as they're backed up by the full odds. That is why I like the 3-point Dolly. It's because it relies on such good bet selection. In the case of a casino that allows 3, 4, 5 times odds, as I've said before in this video, the house advantage is a really low 0.27%. It's very unlikely you're going to see a better bet than that in most casinos. So depending upon the casino, the best game is going to be either blackjack, craps, or video poker. And in most cases, it's going to be craps as long as you limit yourself to playing in the way that I just said. Don't pass, don't come, and laying the maximum odds. So if you want to do something like the 3-point Dolly, but some bets are bigger than others, and maybe you make bets against 2 numbers or 4 numbers, 5 or 6 numbers, whatever. As long as you're restricting yourself to those bets and backing up the full odds, in this case 3, 4, 5 times odds, you're going to have that low house advantage of 0.27%. So that said, I can't think of anything else to say. I would like to mention that I have a lot of other videos about other betting systems. Please check those out if you wish. And again, thanks for watching this video. Hope you'll give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments if you wish, which I check from time to time. And better yet, I hope to have you as a member of my channel. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.